experiencing that question in that moment just changed my perspective on like how I share goals and who I share my goals with. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angoya and I make personal finance and personal development videos, but from the perspective of someone who is also on the journey to just really trying to become a better version of themselves every single day. Today I want to explore the topic of whether you should share your goals and dreams with people or not. And this is coming from me who makes monthly reset videos, and I share some of my goals and dreams with you guys, and I've found it to be really helpful in really keeping me accountable and keeping me thinking about them throughout the month. But there's also an overwhelming amount of research that shows that sometimes sharing your goals and dreams works against you. When thinking about goals, I think about them from, I put them in two different buckets: the get ahead bucket and the give up bucket. The get ahead bucket contains goals that are so important to me, they're so big, they scare me. And the give up bucket contains goals that are, bad habits that I want to give up, aspects of my life that I want to improve, things that I just really feel like I should be better at, or things that I feel like other people can benefit from me sharing my struggles about those things. So when I put my goals in those two buckets, then it's easier to gauge on which one I feel comfortable sharing with who, and which one I feel like I should just keep it to myself and figure out a way to get going on it before I get to a point where I feel good enough to really share those goals. So we've all kind of subscribed to this idea that when you share your goals with people, you kind of have accountability partners, and people can support you and encourage you, and that will help you achieve your goals. But research has shown that sometimes that causes the opposite effect, where you are less likely to actually work on your goals, because when you share your goals, you experience this thing called social gratification. This happens when everybody's like, wow, that's great, I can't wait, I'm so excited for you. So you already receive the reward of working on something at the beginning of it instead of waiting to the end. And so for most people, once you experience the social gratification, you're less likely to take steps to follow through with your goals, because you're not looking forward to that gratification at the end of it. So it's sometimes important for you to just work on your goals, put in the work that's needed, and then tell people when you've already achieved it, so that they congratulate you, and you receive that gratification, but you're already done with the work. The second reason why you should keep some of your goals to yourself is that people will often project their limitations and their scarcity mindset towards your goal. And some of the projection is actually coming from a good place. They might just have really good questions. They might just have, really good things to say about the goal, but those things might be the reason why you start doubting your goals, because they have these limitations in their heads that they probably are not aware of, or they have a scarcity mindset and they're probably not aware of. And when they start questioning and asking and maybe supporting you in a way that means that you need to really think about it before you start taking steps, then that starts making you feel like, oh, maybe you are delusional, maybe you should, this goal is just too big or too far, or just you don't have the resources or the mental capability to achieve it. That can just be how your goals or dreams die. Third reason is that for some reason we always assume that everyone in our life wants the best for us, and we forget that for some people you are their friend because you are in the same level in life. You're probably their friend because they think deep down in their head, they believe that they are so much better than you. And so you coming up with these big dreams and all these goals means that if you can achieve them, then you are better than them. And so this kind of people will find a way to really remind you of your shortcomings. And they might do it in a very subtle way, but it will put something in your brain where you'll be thinking, who am I to think I can achieve that? Who am I to start dreaming about these things? But in reality, those people just want to keep you at that same level because they are scared of probably losing a friend, because you guys are friends because of the level that you're at in life. They might be scared of, relating to you at the next level. They might be scared of, what that means for them. Does that mean that other people will be wondering why they are stuck in the same miserable situation for a long time? Like, it's like you might be pointing a spotlight towards them if you get out. So, misery loves company. And so sometimes if you know that these are the type of people in your life, you might just have to work on your things and your goals by yourself without sharing them, because when you share them with these people, this type of people will remind you of all the failures that you've had and all the inabilities and all the things that will hold you back from your dreams. So work on your goals in silence. Reason number 4 is unnecessary pressure. And this comes from, you share your goals with someone and they're like, I'll be your accountability partner, and they kind of keep asking about progress constantly, and you start feeling like, okay, this is unnecessary pressure on my end, because you understand the things that you're going through while working on these things, but they don't. And sometimes people start giving you unnecessary advice. They start calling you to ask you about the progress, and sometimes when you tell them where you're at, they just feel like you're probably slacking. They start judging you. You start feeling like, oh my gosh, am I looking like a failure? And remember, for me, when I was studying for my CPA license, and there will be times when I've been studying constantly for 3 weeks. Like, I wake up, study, go to bed, wake up, study. Like, I just dream those numbers and stuff. And then, one time I'm like, okay, I need at least 2 hours today to just relax and do what I like. And within those 2 hours is when you find someone calling you and asking you, hey, how's studying going? And it makes you feel so bad, because you're like, oh wow, I took 2 hours to relax. Maybe I should be studying. So you start feeling the pressure. So sometimes it's just important to just do your thing without telling people, to avoid unnecessary pressure, unnecessary advice, unnecessary, people looking in and really examining what you're doing. The last point is that if you fail, people will happily remind you of it. The thing with really telling people your goals and dreams and things like that is that if you don't achieve it, people will always find a way to just remind you that, hey, you failed at that thing. So the more people that remind you of your failures, the harder it is for you to actually get up and forget your failures and keep it moving. So it will be really hard for you to pick up another goal. It will be really challenging for you to believe in yourself again and say, hey, I want to work on this thing, because everyone that surrounds you knows of your failure, and so you always just constantly feel like everyone sees you as a failure. So for some things, just keep to yourself and work on it, because if you fail in private, it's easier to pick yourself up and tell yourself, hey, next time this will work, next time I'll try it this way. So when it comes to really the get ahead goals, how I know who to share those goals with, in the past it's always just been like, it feels right, I trust this person, I'm just gonna tell them, so that if they find out that I was doing this thing, they're not going to get mad or something like that. But just 2 days ago, I was at a restaurant, and I was just sitting there, and I met this person who was much older than me, much more accomplished, much more knowledgeable and wiser than me in everything, in every way. And so I just happened to share one of my get ahead goals with them. It just happened, it just came out, and they listened very attentively, and I could tell they were so excited. And then they followed up with questions and stuff. And then, you know, I was like ready after answering the questions. I was like, okay, ready to move to the next conversation. And they were like, now on to the important part. How can I help you achieve this goal? And I was just like shocked by the question because I wasn't thinking. And I was just like, oh wait, I just shared that because, you know, I just felt like it felt right, I could just share. And the person was like, there are only three reasons why you should share such a goal with someone: if you need them to support you, if you need them to be your accountability person, or if you need resources from them. So what's your reason? And I was just like, I did not have any reason, it just felt right. And they were like, I hope this is not a habit, but like that needs to change from now. So later I was thinking about what he said, and I was like, that's right. Like, even for friends, let's say you want to stop, I don't know, drinking, and you tell your friends, oh, I stopped drinking. You know, that's good, but it's not, you're not going to get much from them if they can't read exactly why you needed to tell them that. So it's important to tell them, hey, I'm telling you I've stopped drinking because I need you to help make sure that, you know, I never sleep and drink. I also need your support in that, you know, sometimes we have to avoid places that will tempt me, or if we go somewhere, or if I come to your house, it would be nice to have a non-alcoholic option. That way your friends know exactly how they can support you in your goals. You know, if you're telling someone else who has resources and you have a goal, you should, even if it's family, I feel like it's important to be like, hey, I'm working on this thing and I'm sharing this just in case you know someone who has A, B, C, and D who can help me. Or I'm sharing this so that you guys can, you know, check in whenever, so that I stick to this thing. I feel like learning that from, like, experiencing that question in that moment just changed my perspective on like how I share goals and who I share my goals with. I would really love to hear from you. So if you have any thoughts and questions and principles that you follow, please leave those in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and see you next week. Bye.